Hello and welcome, dear viewers, to a new edition of Business Insider. It is a universally accepted fact that more enterprises generate more employment. More enterprises necessarily mean more small and medium enterprises, and more employment leads to further increase in demand and more production of goods. This in turn generates even more employment. In addition, when people have the capital, they further build more industries, which add more grace to the virtuous cycle of employment, demand, and production. Not to forget, when people generate incomes, their standard of living increases, and they also are better able to fight hunger, poverty, malnutrition, and diseases, and attain sustainable development goals. The main topic of our episode tonight will be exactly that: SMEs and their role in driving the economy forward and in achieving sustainable development goals. But first, as usual, a look at our top stories for this past week. Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli opened on Wednesday the Sports Expo Egypt 2023 that is being held from February 22nd to the 24th at the Al Manara International Convention Center. Minister of Sports and Youth Dr. Ashraf Subhi, along with a number of ministers, sports experts, specialists, academia, as well as investors interested in investing in the public and private sectors in Egypt, the Middle East, and Africa, are taking part in the event. The three-day gathering is being held under the sponsorship of His Excellency President As-Sisi on the sidelines of the Break Your Record initiative. The exhibition is expected to be the largest annual sports fair and conference in the Middle East, aiming to propel the sports industry in the Middle East to unprecedented heights with a wide array of immersive activations that will reestablish the value of practicing sports, not just watching them, as well as the importance for physical and psychological well-being in minds. And Public Enterprise Sector Minister Mahmoud Esmat has said that Egyptian fertilizers exports have hit 2.7 billion US dollars, making it the second among the 2022 exports after gasoline and other fuels. He made the remarks on Tuesday during the 29th International Annual Fertilizer Conference held under the patronage of Premier Madbouli. Petroleum Minister Tariq Al-Mulla attended the event alongside representatives of a number of heavyweight Egyptian Arab and international companies operating in the fertilizers domain. He said that Egypt produces annually about 7.8 million tons of nitrogen fertilizers, 7 million tons of phosphate rock, and 4 million tons of phosphate fertilizers. It ranks the 6th at the international level in producing urea and the 5th as the largest exporter. And CEO of the General Authority for Investment and Free Zones, GAFI, Mr. Hussein Heba, has said that the Golden License is considered a new experiment meant to improve the business climate in Egypt. Golden licenses aim to reduce much of the long time usually needed to obtain regular permits to start projects, Heba said in a statement that was issued after GAFI granted 13 firms the golden licenses. Heba said that a ceremony was organized to grant the companies the golden licenses in line with the government's policies. The golden license is a single license granted to new investment projects in order to accelerate the operation, management, and allocation of the necessary facilities and approvals with just a single approval, unlike regular licenses which require approvals from several departments and much more paperwork. Time now for a short break, and when we come back, dear viewers, we'll be watching a report about our main topic for tonight, and we'll be introducing you to our distinguished guests with us here in the studio. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. With us now in the studio is Lecturer of Economics, Dr. Zeinab Nawar. Dr. Zeinab, a very good evening to you, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Zeinab, please stay with us, and you too, dear viewers, as we will be watching a report about our main topic for tonight, the SME's role in driving the economy forward and in achieving sustainable development goals. This with Rasha Abdelhamid and Abir Hussein.
Egypt's Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Authority has invested around £2 billion in funding towards micro projects in the first half of 2022, up by 38% compared to 2021, according to the authority's head of the Central Microfinance Sector, Niveen Badruddin. She added that the agency had created 152,000 job opportunities, benefiting around 83,000 projects that were mainly run by either women or youth. It is aiming to implement the state's directives to boost financing for micro projects, particularly those in the production of the crafts and in complementary industries. These contribute to providing local alternatives to certain internationally produced and imported commodities and products, and highlighted the role in creating sustainable job opportunities and helping the quality of life for both owner and employees. Through civil society institutions and NGOs in various villages and communities, the agency provides financing for micro enterprises ranging from 3,000 to 200,000 Egyptian pounds. Badruddin's comments were on the sidelines of the meeting held by the CEO of the MSMEDA, Minister of Trade and Industry Naveen Gama, alongside Minister of Social Solidarity Naveen El-Qabbaj, to discuss ways to cooperate in supporting youth projects and expand their financing. It is also within the framework of the continuous cooperation between the MSMEDA and the Ministry of Social Solidarity to advance the micro enterprise sector through cooperation with NGOs. It also provides technical support to NGOs to train and grow employees' capacities and efficiency, allowing them to better deal with youth and their needs. As part of the state's efforts to encourage the Egyptian economy, the Egyptian president issued Law Number 152 of the year 2020 regarding the development of the medium, small and micro enterprises. The new law aims to attract the projects that are outside the Egyptian authorities' control and embrace them under its umbrella, due to reduce the informal sector of the economy with a view of promoting employment in the formal sector, and in this way ensuring the full enjoyment of the economic and social rights by all workers. Moreover, it aims to legalize SMEs' status under the Egyptian laws.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. In the studio is Dr. Zeinab Nawar, the Lecturer of Economics. Dr. Zeinab, after a reminder to me and the viewers of the best definition for SMEs, tell us about what you think indeed about their big role in driving economies forward, especially economies of developing nations.
Of course, for what we can say that the small and medium enterprises, and also for this scale of small institutions or small economic, I just see that they are just small companies, but they are representing an economic institution where we can see that we have a labor factor, we have an entrepreneur, we have a technology, we have a knowledge. I would say that I see that the importance of this sector, small and medium enterprises, especially of the time of crisis that we do have, that we used to have a lot of crises recently, in worldwide crisis, of course, starting from
COVID,
Corona, and then we have
the
Russian-Ukraine war and all of these crises. And then when we were just saying that we are looking for the FDIs, but where are the foreign direct investors now? in the time of crisis, you know, they are just looking for the benefit that they would gain sometimes for some countries, and now countries are trying to attract, and there is some sort of competition worldwide to attract the FDIs. However, if you have a solid sector of small and medium enterprises, so I think it can play a big role in the time of crisis, because you are talking about an Egyptian investor, Egyptian entrepreneur, working, thinking, and trying to do his best, especially in this time of crisis. So I see that we have some of the fruits of the efforts that had been done from the government lately, that we have the fruits now because we have on the ground a lot of small and medium enterprises working and working efficiently and trying to reduce their cost and trying also to work and to deal with the technology. I mean that this sector, if you are talking about Egypt, they have this talent and they have this type of trade to deal with the situation. They have a great flexibility also. If we want to believe and to think of this sector in Egypt, it has a great flexibility. They have the ability to reduce their cost, although that we have a lot of problems related to the inflation rate, but still they have their own means to deal with this issue and to look for solutions. And this is how entrepreneurs should work. In the time of crisis, how we should produce using whatever. I'm not talking about the latest technology, because the latest technology it's an expensive type of technology, but I mean the available technology in this time. And also to just keep on working in the market. Maybe you will shrink your work for a while, or you expand for another from another time, but still there are a lot of chances inside the Egyptian economy, even if we have a time of crisis, which is an international crisis affecting us, of course, but still there is a good ground for this sector to work and to expand in Egypt.
Right.
The issue that a lot of efforts had been done by the government on this sector, but we still need more and more than that. Still, the resources of the private sector does not match with the size of the economy of Egypt, does not match with the needs and wants. This is what we used to tell to our students, needs and wants, and the difference between needs and wants and all of this does not match with the size of the population. A lot of effort needed to be done, a lot of encouragement, incentives to the youth to start their own project and to start to work on the ground. This is very important to deal with the current crisis.
Right. According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD, SMEs is an independent firm that employs a certain number of people, less than, and it differs from one country to another. I mean, what would that number be here in Egypt? Less than?
Yes, we have different categories for the numbers of workers.
Yes.
Less than 10. So we are talking on the scale of which is the micro, and then the small up to more than 50 workers, and then we have this medium. Also, I think there are a number of workers. But according to the regulations, sometimes the central bank had said that before telling about the number of employees for each of these segments, they used to tell less than or more than in terms of capital and investment. But what they're trying to do, they would like just to put them in a category, so they would put them in certain rules and regulations and all of that. But at the end of the day, if we talk about a business where we have maybe 10, so it seems that it will be very micro and very small. Yeah. And then on much larger scale of employees, so we'll talk about the small, and then we'll talk about the medium scale. I will say, yeah. I will tell you why we are doing this type of differentiations, because of the incentives that they are going to receive.
Understood.
Because you have to know the actual size of the business. How you are going to know the actual size of the business? Either by the capital invested in this business, or the number of people working in this business.
Right.
You have to put these types of categories, because you have also, if you like, to give them incentives, subsidies, and all of this. How are you going to deal with them?
I mean, how much of the economy is based on SMEs? I mean, percentage-wise. I mean, globally, and then maybe in Egypt or in this region.
Yeah.
Do we have figures? I mean,
yeah, we have figures, but I'm trying
approximate figures.
I'll try to memorize these figures, but I will tell you. if you talk about the worldwide economy, no, it's a decent, and we have a good number, if you can say, because I
Decent
don't want
is not a figure. It's not a figure, Dr. Zeinab.
But
approximately.
Approximately, maybe we can talk about 40% small medium enterprises could be, but for Egypt we'll see that we're still lacking behind. I mean that we don't have this number, or the number that we should have in terms of economic activities. Why? Because we still need to work more on this sector and encourage them more.
There's something called SMEs infrastructure. Could you tell us what that means? I mean, reading about this, the issue, I bumped into SMEs infrastructure. What is
infrastructure? I mean, of what the preparation that the government is doing for the small and medium enterprises. I mean,
maybe the logistics.
They're talking about the basic, whatever should be provided for this type of business inside the country. I mean, what should be provided for this sector to work efficiently. So if you talk about infrastructure of the small and medium enterprises, definitely this doesn't mean infrastructure. I mean,
water
it's the
environment. The environment, right?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
It's the...
Yeah, because the main thing for the infrastructure for the small and medium enterprises is the knowledge and the know-how. Because the knowledge and the know-how, this is what brings you the rest of the facilities. I mean, if we are going to talk about money, capital, supply, logistics, supply chain, and all of this. But since you have the proper knowledge and the proper information, this eventually means that you have the good infrastructure for this sector. One of the main
How do you like the people's awareness about the importance of SMEs?
Here in Egypt?
Yes.
We started to have a good... what we can say, good quality of awareness. If you talk about the youth, those who are graduated from different universities, and even for those who are coming from what we can say that the technical type of education. No, for the rural...
Not necessarily bachelor degrees.
No, not necessarily. For the rural areas, we still have a problem of awareness once again. But for the scale, those who are graduating from different universities, no, they have a good awareness, and the government again, and the universities, whether we talk about private universities or public universities, still working well in this direction. The youth themselves, they are believing that they have a role to play, and they want just to start their own business. But once again, it's the knowledge, the hub of knowledge, the type of skills that they do need. This is what actually we need in terms of true infrastructure of this sector. If we just had achieved, or we had succeeded just to give them the proper knowledge and the proper skill, so by time there will be an accumulation of knowledge, there will be accumulation of money, an accumulation of cash by the time, of course.
Tell us about some of the challenges that face SMEs in Egypt, the challenges that you see that we have to work on imminently, if you will.
Of course, one of the challenges is still the awareness and knowledge, and the dissemination of awareness, and a lot of campaigns and all of this. This is part. Still, we had done a lot, but we need to do more than that. Dealing with the bureaucratic system, and dealing with the taxation authority, and also having this type of that it's okay for the business to deal with whatever the government and whatever laws and regulations in terms of taxation. I think we still need from the taxation authority and from the Ministry of Finance, if you can say that, is to put like what we would like to tell, more incentives, more campaigns to tell the youth of the importance of paying off taxes. Because if you are just worried that some of these segments are still informal, the main reason that they do not move into formal, because of the taxation, the taxes, and all of these types of obligations they have to pay to the government. I think it's very important from the government to consider these types of projects, to support them at least at the beginning, and to just let them grow for a while, and then we'll ask for the rights in terms of payment of taxes. I think this is one of the main challenges, and there is some sort of trust between these projects and the taxation authority, and how they see the bureaucratic system and the regulate. I think that we need to work more. The government needs to talk a lot, a lot of campaigns
But
to
there
talk
are
with them.
many incentives that are being given to SMEs, right?
Yes, there are incentives, but still, in a time or another, they have to pay their obligations to the taxation
You
authority.
want to see more incentives.
Yes,
Yeah.
and at the time, given these obstacles we have right now for the Egyptian economy, so some of them, they are just not trusting the system itself. I mean, this is true thing. Again, I think that we need to create more trust and to put more infrastructure in the terms of trusting the government, trusting wherever the system, the ministers, and to deal with them.
Even in the bureaucracy file, there has been progress made in defeating bureaucracy.
A lot.
We talked about the golden licenses, for instance, at the outset of the program. So there are efforts in all directions, but you believe we need more.
We need more, because why we need more? Because we have a lot of inputs. If we have this equation, we have input, processing, and output. We still, in Egypt, we have a lot of resources and opportunities as inputs. And we need to work more on this. Of course, when we talk about the golden license, once again, to work on what we can say that it used to have a longer time for any Egyptian investor to start his own business. I'm talking about industrial business.
Yeah.
But now through this license, so he will have less time. Less time means he will save money.
Yeah, he or she.
He or she, okay. He or she is going to save money. So less days, less problems, less headache, means a lot of money, saving effort, also encouraging those investors. So the more that, or the less in terms of timing, the more we attract investors and those who are going to invest in industry, of course, to come and to start their work inside the Egyptian economy. Part of dealing with the crisis that we do have right now is dealing with the issue of competition. We need to bring more producers into the Egyptian economy to, where I can say that, encourage more competitive practices. Why we need to do this, why we need competition right now.
To get prices down.
Yes, because any business entering the Egyptian market, he would like to take a share from this market. So what he's going to do, he will look for different solutions and to produce with a less price. And this is for the sake of the consumer.
Or the consumer, right.
For the Egyptian consumer at the end.
Right.
So encouraging more of the manufacturer entering the market. Yes, you will deal with the issue of less imports. You will save money instead of huge importation. So you are working and exporting from here. Plus, you're just adding a lot of competitors entering the market, hoping to get a good portion from the pie. So they will, from the Egyptian market, of course, so they will decrease their prices. So you can just handle it. You can just do a lot of things. You have a lot of tools, and you can use all of these tools at once again to achieve the welfare.
You see a potential big role for SMEs in that regard, in meeting the needs.
Yes, we still have a big potential for that. We still have a lot the base that we are putting our potential, that, or our hopes are on our youth, on the Egyptian youth.
Right.
So we have a lot of youth. They would like to work, they would like to learn, they have the ability, and also they would like to innovate. So you have a big proportion of the human capital.
And this is a huge market. I mean, Egypt is a huge
market, a huge number of consumers with huge needs and wants. If you are a business, you are starting your own business, or you are a startup, and you are going to start your own work in Egypt, but you have to plan for this work, and you have to plan for this business right, and of course get the formal regulations and all of this, and deal with the Egyptian system. If you just build your own work or startup or company, or your own manufacturer, for example, or your own factory, and you had done your own studies and economic visibility study, definitely you will achieve profit. No one enters the Egyptian market without the proper studies, and of course you have to study your work, and you have to work, and you have to train whatever your employees or laborers, and you have to bring whatever technology that you can bring. Definitely you'll achieve a profit.
Right.
So it's,
right.
it's an opportunity.
Right. What sectors do you think, Dr. Zeinab, are more attractive to SMEs? I mean, what sectors are the current leaders as far as SMEs are concerned, and what sectors you believe have a great potential for expansion when it comes to SMEs?
Of course, we have this type of digital marketing and the types of what I can say, the use of the latest technologies in this type of marketing. And if you are talking about companies, digital marketing and all of these types of services, I see for Egypt we have an opportunity in different industries. Clothing, we have an opportunity for that. Leather products, furniture, we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity even for this type of clean technology types of industries also. We have a potential in a lot of opportunities and a lot of industries. Fertilizers, we have a potential for this sector.
The food sector, the agriculture sector?
Of course, the industrialization, or it's the manufacturing of types of agricultural products also.
Right.
You have a potential in this. Instead of just exporting the food in a raw shape, we can just do some sort of manufacturing on these types of products and re-exporting or exporting these types of products. Anything that we can manufacture inside the Egyptian borders, we have an edge at. So any technology, even if we're talking about a technology that we cannot work on it right now, we may just import this technology temporary, and we can even achieve advancement in this type of technology inside the Egyptian borders using the minds of the Egyptians.
Right.
Anything that we can work on, we have an edge on it. If we worked properly, if we had done our economic visibility studies, if we had just trained our labor, if we just took care with the market needs and what the consumers actually need in terms of product, I think it will work.
Finally, I think women are gaining ground in SMEs in Egypt. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I agree with that, because we started to have lately a number of projects where are led by women in this sector, and they are successful in that. And we see it on the ground in a lot of exhibitions and events where we see that a lot of startups, a lot of projects have been led by women, and also they are successful in doing the marketing work of their project. And also they're trying to work on the labor factor and to train their labor, and also they are looking for exporting opportunities. So yes, women started to work on themselves in these areas, and there are a lot of advancement in that inside Egypt. I think this is very important, because if we are talking about social issues and also women empowerment and all of that, so it comes with
that's
what
achieving a sustainable development goal. And so, I mean, we wanted to talk more, really. Unfortunately, our time is up. We want to talk maybe in a later episode about how SMEs can achieve various different sustainable development goals. But for now, we have to thank, on behalf of you, dear viewers, our dear guest here in the studio, Dr. Zeinab Nawar, the lecturer of economics. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, and hope to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear viewers, for watching us. Next week, same time, is a new episode. Until then, this is Mohammed Abdul Rahim, and this is goodbye.